And you already know me. I appreciate everybody for tuning in for another episode of Forever Slow Stroking the podcast. This is episode 102, I believe, and today we're gonna speak on, recession a bit, and some of the things that you should watch for the upcoming recession if we get one, and maybe some clues to why I think we're gonna get a recession. So first, before we kick that off, let's definitely go around the room, see how everybody's day's been going. I'll start with you, Malik. How's your day going, man?
My day going pretty well. My team kind of got me acting as like the red team manager right now, so been a little tasked with a bunch of meetings, more meetings than usual, but nonetheless, we still working over here, and yeah, no, peaceful weekend. Not a lot of stress, you feel me? So can't complain at all.
I can dig it. I can dig it. What about you, Jermaine? What's good with
Me, I'm good, man. Just another day, another dollar. Just taking it one day at a time, and yeah, all is well, man. So let's get it.
you? I can dig it. I can dig it, son. As for me, the day has been chill. I've been trying to rest up a little bit, but I feel like I always have so much to do between trying to rest, doctor's appointments, still dealing with clients, still trying to get some stuff set in place for work. But there's just a lot going on. A lot of good things, though. I feel like things are good. I'm feeling better. I had COVID, and I feel better now. Um, just still got like some weird stuff going on with my nose. Still be tired a little bit. I don't know, just some minor stuff, but nothing super crazy that made me feel like I'm about to die. But yeah, other than that, I think that man. So I was looking up online and just went to my good friend Google, right, to see what makes a recession according to most of the world, right? So what does other people see a recession to be? And pretty much it occurs with a prolonged downturn in the economy's activity, right? And economic activity. Um, there is a decline in GDP, gross domestic product, um, as well as economic output, which means like employment is down, right? But typically during a recession, more people apply for work because they don't have money. But in reality, during a recession, there's not as many jobs because companies can't afford to pay, employers, right? Hence why GDP is down. Um, in addition to that, there's consumer demand issues, right? So you have less consumer demand, right? So people don't have a need to buy more products, which also brings GDP down, right? So if you think about, you know, the times where you go to the mall, it's because you're trying to grab something real quick, right? If you weren't going to the mall, you probably ordered offline, but you try and grab something real quick. So I go to the mall, I'm buying all white Air Maxes or a pair of Vans, black T-shirts, white T-shirts. But if you pay attention during times of recession, those activities they kind of come to a halt because people are no longer in need of that fresh drip. Because at the end of the day, bro, where you going? You ain't got no money. Like, what type of trip you about to take? Who you about to pull up on? You first of all, how you gonna pull up? You ain't got no gas money. So like
Yeah.
a lot of things, kind of changed during this time. So that's why that consumer demand, changes. Even if it's holiday season, hey, it's like nah. But even like during the times where you have like Christmas, Thanksgiving, those holidays coming up, most people feel the need or feel, I guess, a requirement to go out and shop, right? Consumer demand is high during those times. But when it's a recession, even during those holiday peak seasons, consumer demand is low. People may want it, but they know that that's not important. The important thing is paying the bills to keep the roof over the head, paying the bills to keep the house warm, paying the bills to keep me fed, and that's it, right? And so protecting themselves from extreme discomfort is what's on the forefront of people's minds. So that's just a quick few characteristics of a recession, and now I kind of want to see how does that align, or how what are your opinions on how that may align with things that we could be seeing in the near future, or even things that we're currently seeing now. So whoever want hit the ground running with that, like I'm here for it.
Malik, you could go ahead, bro.
Jermaine said, "Nah, forget that. I'm good." Like,
But okay, so pretty much like, what's my standpoint on when it comes to the recession? That's pretty much.
well, I mean, so all right, let me go ahead. So all right, so pretty much three things that you can watch to kind of let you know if we're heading towards a recession or like just some characteristics, right? So number one, GDP, negative GDP,
Of
gross
course.
domestic product. All right, that's one. Number two, you have decrease in consumer demand. Number three, you have a decrease in jobs. So unemployment is is increasing significantly.
Yeah.
So just keep in mind those few characteristics. Are there more? Of course, but there those are some, excuse me, to get you started. And I'm gonna point out something in a few, and it's gonna bring all of that together. So um,
So I guess to like carry it on, I guess. If I'm not mistaken, GDP, the last GDP numbers was stated a couple months ago, right? And when I noticed that, the first I also also increase, because you notice you have to supply below demand. So certain things can decrease, but certain things often increase. People need to get around, so people need gas. I noticed gas prices went from what I thought was about $3, maybe a little bit less, jumping to $4.60, $5. Uh, a Chipotle bowl that might have been $7 is now $11.80. You feel me?
are you
So
serious?
yeah, like it's crazy. It's crazy, especially if you ordering online. Like that shit, and that's just certain things that I started to notice. Like, okay, maybe we're in some form. We all know inflation, but we're in some form of like demand for this, and that it started when they started stating that we're in a recession. So I guess that's something else that I kind of thought as well. Like maybe this could confirm that we're in one. Um,
Uh,
I'm trying to, but the other three are like the main things that I look at to determine, and that was kind of like the confirmation.
That so they have not confirmed a recession, and I'm not gonna lie to you. You got to really think about this, and this is what gives me like my competitive edge with a lot of things. I understand that they're not gonna tell us when we're going into a recession. Like when do they ever give you a heads up? They usually tell you too late. Nobody's really gonna go out there and be like, "Hey, look, a recession is coming in 2 weeks." So what you should do now is protect a lot of your. No, they be like, we're monitoring the situation. We're doing whatever we can to make things better. We're trying to cut our balance sheets. So a lot of times people got to understand that there are going to be clues, but nobody's going to specifically go out, tap you on the shoulder, and tell you, "Hey, recession, 2 weeks, 14 days. Go ahead and prepare. I packed you a blanket, and also it's a lunch box in there with a flashlight. so you should be good. In addition to that, I pack you some hand warmers in case it gets real cold and it's winter. Like nobody gonna sit there and do that, right? And you gotta understand um, that from the news side as well, right? You can't always look at CNBC and say, all right, they're gonna let me know what I need to be watching, what I need to be preparing for. Because at the end of the day, it's all about how much money these large companies can retain. If these large companies fail quick, then a lot of the economy is going to be damaged, right? You got to understand how many government contracts these companies have, right? Imagine if Boeing just decides to fail, right? All the new jets that are going to be needed for American Airlines, Delta, Southwest, um, Spirit. I feel like Spirit don't buy new planes. I feel like Spirit go on eBay and buy used planes. But like if they're buying new planes, right? Imagine all those carriers that are gonna need new jets. They're not gonna be able to get them. I mean, granted, there is another company. I can't think of the name. I think it's I don't know what the name is, but it's another company that has been making jets for these airlines as well. But that's just an example. So keep that in mind. Nobody's gonna really give you a heads up. But I am looking at the GDP from the last one that we got in what is this? August. So last month's GDP we got um, negative 0.6%. The consensus was negative 0.8%, and the previous was negative 1.6%. And even for this coming GDP that's happening on the 29th, they're still headhunting for what is this? Negative 0.06%. So we'll see what that number is, and this is for the final, I guess, quarter of the year. So I'm kind of curious to see what these numbers are. I don't really know what to think about it, but I know that people like Powell, they're trying to, well, the Fed, I should say, are doing a lot to try to protect from, well, to save us from more inflation, but I feel like they kind of just need to rip the band-aid off with it. Like, whatever interest rates you need to set those rates. Stop trying to, increment the rates by 0.25% or by 50% or 0.5%. Like, bro, just put it at 100. Like, don't 0.5 it, 0.75 it. Just one. Just do it. Like, get it over with. So that way we can have these high interest rates. It can strengthen the dollar. So that way inflation can kind of chill out a little bit. But I don't know. I think they have their own rules to follow. But I just ran off on a tangent. I'm sorry. But yeah, Jermaine, what do you think about like this whole recession thing? Like, and what would you do to kind of prepare for it?
So for me, a recession is technically 2 quarters of negative GDP. We already hit that. I feel like feeling a recession is something that people start feeling before it even really shows up as a recession, but that's because sometimes we confuse, or not confuse, just kind of miss like associate terms with like certain things that are going on. Like money's been tight and scarce since the beginning of the year, and it's just been that way. And it's as inflation has gone up, it's just continued. People are spending less and less money because there's just less of it to go around for everybody. Everything's more expensive. People's salaries aren't really matching up. So it's already been kind of going like that. But then there's a term for recession that is the 2 negative quarters of GDP. So we are in a recession. But like just because we're in a recession doesn't mean that we're not heading out of it. As in the next month, next 2 months, people can start spending money again. It's just a term that categorizes where we are economically. but that doesn't necessarily, like, as a nation, but that doesn't necessarily say, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you say a stock is bullish, it might have gone from 200, it might be at 500 now. Like, it's like, now's not the time for me to buy just because you said it's bullish, because, bro, the time for me to buy was like at 200. Now it's at 500.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? That's why I want people to not, sometimes people might hear the term recession, oh, snap, it's bad right now. No, it's been bad for a while. And the bad things that have happened over the last 6 months have now been categorized as something. That doesn't mean that for the next 6 months, it's not going to be better than what it was. So, not that, I just wanted to get that point across. Now, as it pertains to like how I feel about like the recession and like moves to make or things to do, it's definitely a time to look to secure assets at discounts. Homes are on sale, relatively speaking. Stocks are on sale, relatively speaking. Crypto is on sale, relatively speaking. Businesses are on sale, relatively speaking. If you wanted to like buy a business as opposed to creating your own from scratch, it's like a yard sale. So those who during, and this is cyclical thinking, like if things are going well and you're exiting as things are going bad, you start getting into your positions, and then when things go well, you're exiting again. That's how the cycle should be. Bearish should be the time where you're kind of soaking up what you're going to do, and then bullish is when you're exiting those positions, because bullish environments provide you with liquidity, investor. So during this time of a recession, I want everybody to think of it from a perspective of, okay, where can I get in? Where can I fit in? So you can find your opportunities for, growth, so that when we get back into those, overinflated prices, everybody got money, everybody's willing to spend whatever and not really care what they're spending. You can eat off of that, as you begin to sell off the assets that you were able to purchase during this recession time. Now, as it pertains to just kind of like, tightening up your pants and tighten up your shoestrings, button up your shirt, because as things are getting difficult. I would say now's the time to cut expenses tremendously. If you can, like, cut your gas budget in half, cut your food budget in half, cut everything in half. That's a great way to stack bread. It's nice to make achievable goals, but goals are only as achievable as you make them. If you tell yourself I can't save, you're never gonna save. If you try to tell yourself I'm gonna save 50% and you save around 30%, it's better than zero. That's what you were at previously. So just kind of encouraging people to kind of like buckle down in those regards and just kind of, tighten up financially. This is a good time. During a recession, it's hard for a lot of people. This is a point in a recession, as it is described, is a big time for people to go through depression. It's a big time for people to lose their marriages, lose their homes. Like, it's not an easy time for a lot of people. So make sure you're taking care of your health. That's physical health, right? You're eating right. You're exercising. You're just making sure your body's good. Make sure your mental health is good. Make sure you're doing the things that you can enjoy that don't cost money. So you're not spending to just feel something, but you're actually trying to feel something outside of spending money. So these are these little tips and tricks as we approach these sort of things. So that's my 2 cents.
Bro, you really dropped like 10 cents, but that's valid, son. I think it's very important to also, like you said, remember what you need to value outside of cost. Me personally, it all starts with being able to say no. Like, you two have known me for quite a while, and I guarantee you, at some point in time, you've heard me say no, and I say no a lot because I'll be like, nah, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm not gonna buy that. I'm not going there. I'm not doing this. No. Like, I say no a lot, and it's really saved me. And I think a lot of people should just learn to really say no. You know that you can't keep up with going out with your friends who make $30,000 more than you. Like, but you want to have fun with your friends, and at the same time, their bag is decent, but yours is kind of falling off. But you still want to be with your friends, but you don't have that self discipline or that financial discipline that's needed to speak with your friends and be like, look, I would love to, but my bag is not there. Like, I can only do this much, and if I do anything more, it's gonna hurt me, right? So I think that's another thing. That's why I say people, well, a lot of people in this country need to learn how to say no, because it's all about the flex, right? Stay off of social media. Take care of your mental health as well. Stay off of social media. That's why when you see me post on Instagram, unless it's in a close friends, you won't see anything outside of money. Like, you won't see me talk about how I feel. You won't see me talk about any problems I have going on, because at the end of the day, my social media is about what's on the forefront, and that's stocks, financial literacy, investing, and just financial advancement in general. So I definitely I appreciate everything you said, Jermaine, and it's very important. And the recession is technically just a term, but that feeling of the recession, it, I don't think people have felt it yet. I don't think people have felt it yet. Malik talked about inflation in simple places such as, Chipotle. I don't. Do I think the food costs are gonna go up? Of course, on meat, I think meat prices will go up. And if farmers decide to stop farming, then those vegetables and things like that, they will start to increase in price as well. After meat, but pause. I do think that the decline in prices of certain goods is what's going to let you know that you're in a recession as well. Um, but before I get into that, and I'm going to just only mention a few things on that. Malik, did you have anything else you wanted to kind of mention? Like, because I know you were trying to, like, gather your thought on that recession joint, and you was like you was trying to get your thoughts together, but you was just like, ah. So I wanted to circle back and see if you kind of like, came up with, you know, another opinion or some additional opinions or thoughts.
Nah. I mean, what I was thinking of more of, Jermaine definitely said it. He said he like hit it right on the nose. I think this is the best time to kind of get in where you fit in. Like, this is definitely, if you feel as if times were already rough and you had to set certain standards, sometimes you gotta learn to realign and readjust. So this that time, this the time now to start realigning, readjusting. I know, like he also mentioned like just the saving aspect. Oh, I'm gonna try to save 50%. Like, I always set a limit that's outrageous, knowing I ain't gonna reach it, but I'm gonna try to save this much. That's just the idea that I'm gonna save as much as I can. You feel me? So
So let me ask you this: Is this the time where you move back in with your parents? Like, is this move back in with mommy and daddy time, or is this like?
the only reason I'm gonna say is not is because I feel like aspects like that hinder growth.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? So if you already on your own, these type of predicaments going to only help you grow to be able to withstand them if they ever happen again. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I don't think I don't think running for. I mean, granted, we all look for help, but I don't think running for help in that type of aspect will definitely be like. I know me personally, I'm doing the opposite. So some people might think, "What the fuck? Like, why would you do that?" But I'm planning to do the opposite. I'm planning to purchase a home, if not a home, maybe even two. Like, that's my idea. So, but that's just to get myself in the aspect of taking that risk, taking that chance, and just growing as time grows. Like, if I feel like I'm in the same spot every day, my biggest slogan: you ain't getting better every day, you're getting worse. So if I'm not getting better, that just goes to show I got to do something different. So I wouldn't say this is definitely not the time to move back. This is just the time to just face adversity, just overcome.
That's valid, bro. That's valid. Thank you. Appreciate that. And I think you have a good viewpoint on what's happening. I do want to say this. So when you think of, you know, a terrible economy, and I feel like we've had a bad economy for years. I've literally, since you've known me, I've literally been saying it's the economy. Like, Like I always say that. Like I was like, bro, it's the economy. Like ain't nothing you can do about it. So some things that'll let you know if we are, truly in a recession. Car prices. You'll see car prices come down significantly. You already seen gas go up. If gas is going up, that's already limiting how much people can use their transportation. If they can't afford that, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be hard for them to afford the vehicle. Interest rates are going up. People can't afford a super crazy loan on a vehicle plus pay high interest. So not automakers, but these dealers are gonna try to accommodate, those high interest rates by lowering the cost of the vehicle. And why do they lower the cost of the vehicle? Because people are not paying the cost that they've set for the vehicle. It's not that people don't want the cars; people can't afford the car at that price with the interest rate, cost of homes. I mean, interest rate on a house, yeah, that's been going up too. Um, you'll see a lot of home starting to slow down, right? New home sales slowing down because people can't afford, to pay 6% interest on a $500,000 house. You know what I'm saying? 3%, all right, cool, but 6%, oh my gosh, no. So you'll see a lot of people, not that they don't want a house, but it's just not going to make sense to buy a house. Even if the house price goes down a little, it will have to go down significantly. And that's why you see a lot of these things like getting dirt cheap. Like Jermaine said, this is the time to load up on assets. Like some things that I'm doing is I'm gonna buy. I think it's time. I'm gonna buy this another car. Um, I'm looking. Excuse me. I'm looking. I like McLaren, so I think that's the one I'm gonna go for. But cost of McLarens have went down by like I think 10 to 20%. So if I can get it to go down another 10 to 20%, then buying a McLaren will be valid, right? And you gotta think $300,000 car, you get that at a good price, down 10%, cool. You just knocked off 30K, right? Down at, well, that's not 30. Yeah, that's 30K, right? Down 20%. You just knocked off 60K. So you keep doing that, and then once you buy the vehicle, the economy gets better. Maybe 6 months, 9 months later, but you flip that car and get back all the payments that you made on the vehicle plus profit. Um, in addition to that, certain jewelry, right? When the market was taking off on stupid, dumb, crazy, retarded, everybody was buying Rolexes. And mind you, they don't make Rolexes like that. They just dropped a new line of Rolexes this year, and if I don't know how, but if you can buy a brand new Rolex automatically as soon as you walk out the store, it doubles in value. So in addition to that, I'm also looking to buy my first Rolex. I was gonna buy a Rolex and do a giveaway, but people didn't participate, so I'm gonna just buy one for myself. And and then what I'm gonna do is I'm probably just gonna sell that next year as well, right? So and then I'll buy another Rolex. Or I'll buy two, three if I can get my hands on it. But it's all about buying the right one. Like one of the BMWs is in the shop getting some tent work done, and the guy that runs the shop, he's big into watches, so he was just giving me a good breakdown on all the Rolexes. Like he just got a new Rolex today, and we was talking about it, and he was like giving me some pointers for buying like you know a Rolex because I have the Breitlings and everything like that, but it's just I wanna add something else to the collection, so a Rolex is definitely going to be easy to flip. I found one that I could probably sell for $2,000 more than what I'm buying it for, um, which I might try to buy this month. I don't know. I'll see. Just gonna wait for the dealer to contact me back. But so it's a lot of things that you can buy, or that you can not buy. It's a lot of things that you can pay attention to and see. Okay, if these things that really don't lose value drop, that should tell me that something's up with the economy, right? Something detrimental is happening to the financial state of this country and the world in general. Like Jermaine said, two negative GDPs is what will technically, you know, align you with being in a recession. However, there are other things that'll let you know if you're heading towards depression, if you're heading towards deflation, inflation. Right now, the the Fed is focused on deflation, right? What does that mean? That means that they're trying to lower inflation because inflation was at the highest has been since what, 2007. Mind you, what happened after 2007, right? You had that crash in 2008. A lot of people lost their retirement, right? 2009, people just getting out. So it's a lot to be mindful of. You won't see stock prices drop until deflation has happened. So yes, people, we are trying to, withstand inflation, but once deflation happens, that's when your pockets are going to get hit hard, because at that point you're not going to have the money to buy anything even at the cheaper price. And that's why the recession is significant. So um I think I've said more than enough. But if anybody else got anything they want to add to that, let's go.
Man, you hit it on the head, bro. Man, that's when they say less.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, but one thing I want to point out real quick is, let me get to this point. Let me see, pull up this little SPY chart. And I really don't look at SPY that much. I focus on the SPX 500, but SPY is what most people um, look at. And so I'm gonna just go to that. Let me get this weekly. So with SPY, right? Looking at this, right? And this is a weekly chart, by the way. You see here, ever since 2007, I believe, right? Yeah, since 2008 or 2009, this has been the trend of the market. The market has been in this trend. In 2020, the market dipped crazy, jumped out of this trend, and it pretty much like put it on a rubber band and slingshot the joint beyond its trend in a bullish direction. As the market is starting to pull back, people are like, there's something wrong with the stock market. No, it's not. It's leveling out, right? However, if it had this much momentum to come up, 9 times out of 10, it's going to have that same momentum coming down. And where do you think we're going to stop? We're probably going to stop relative to the trend, which is our support. Me personally, I believe that we can hit 325 on this SPY. As we hit 325, you have to understand the cost of a lot of assets are going to drop significantly. Well, not assets, securities. And what's a security? Security is anything that holds value. It could be a stock, it could be forex, it could be crypto. Anything's a security if you could trade it and it has value. So these security prices like Tesla or Enphase, Rail, Honest, Beyond Meat, Coinbase, all of these securities are going to be losing value as this market pulls back, right? this at this point when this happens, this 325 happens around, um, let's say sometime next year, or if it continues to progress at this pace, then probably by December, November. If we have this downturn and it happens as quickly as that, we'll probably see the most desired stocks at affordable prices. And when I say affordable prices, that means that the average person with how the economy was in 2019 could afford to buy 100 shares of a company. That's when I say affordable. That's what I mean, right? A lot of these companies on this list are affordable because you could buy 100 shares, right? Tesla, a lot of people may not be able to buy 100 shares of. Enphase, people may not be able to buy 100 shares of, but Upstart, yes, that's only $2,000, right? Teladoc, only $2,600. Coinbase, only $6,200. Beyond Meat, only $1,450, right? Um, Affirm, $1,904, right? For 100 shares, a lot of these stocks are affordable, but imagine how much cheaper it will get, right? Um, Definitely looking at companies like Affirm as we go into our holiday season, because that's that buy now, pay later. People are going to do a lot of credit this year. They're going to be using a lot of credit this year for Christmas because, like Jermaine said, don't have it. 9 times out of 10, they just don't have it. And like Malik said, the cost of regular things that you buy, such as, you know, quick food, is increased. It's inflated to the point where making that purchase gets a bit uncomfortable. So if you follow this market, right, and you watch for let even say like unemployment, watch for unemployment to drop. Unemployment rates are gonna drop. The market's gonna drop with it. Unemployment goes up and increases. As backwards as that sounds, you'll see the market increase as well. It's all about putting time into the market and paying attention to these financial, I would say, topics. Paying attention to these financial topics because this is ultimately what gets us to where we need to be, to the point where we can actually buy good companies for great prices, great discounted prices. Like you getting that family discount. Like you buying companies at family discount prices, and all you gotta do is hold. Is it gonna hurt to buy? It might, because you may skip a bill, or you may, sacrifice going out to eat. You may sacrifice, a vacation. But first of all, you don't need to be taking a vacation, no recession anyway. Me, I'm gonna take a vacation because I deserve it and I can afford it. But regular people, not regular people, because I am a regular person, just with different. I do different things, but you know, the average individual who's not caught up to speed on this don't need to be going on no vacation. You do not need to be googling flights, right? So, and you pay attention to that too. A lot of vacation deals are happening now. Like Virgin Voyages was given like 50% off. So I was like, oof, that's my thing. So you go on a whole nice little trip for like $2,000. It's not bad. But seriously, I spilled the beans that I had to spill. I got everything off my chest. Anybody else got anything?
No, man, I think you hit it all on the head, bro. My opinion.
It's valid, son. It's valid. I could think it. But they just contacted me about the Rolex. So yeah,
That's good news.
yeah, it's great news. We're gonna be in business soon. Yeah, but shoot, Malik, you got anything?
No, I'm good. I'm glad I heard all this. I'm good.
Listen, I'm glad I heard. I ain't hating on you now for reaching Malik. I'm gonna say this publicly. Don't play with me with this sports bet and stuff, man. I ain't gonna say it no more.
Yo,
I ain't gonna say it no more. I'm talking to all three of y'all, but really just you. Like, bruh, we put the bets in. I'm
I,
trying to get paid.
I got you. I got
Whatever you do, times two. If you win, I should win. If I see on the close friends, you know, guess who up a couple of this, a couple of that on the Monday, I should be like, and me.
you. I got you. I got you.
Yeah, I don't want to have this mistake happen no more. I was very offended this morning. I felt left out. So I just wanted to make this a PSA real quick to you specifically. Like, bro, like, please do not play with me with this sports betting stuff. You know I don't know how this works. I told you whatever it costs, go for it. If I lose, I send it, and I've been sending you gratuity too. So, so yeah. But shoot, that's all. That's all I had to say. We finished off. We done. You feel me? But that, bro. But look, go ahead, Jermaine.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I'm about to call Apple. I gotta get my laptop fixed. So
Yeah.
I was just gonna throw that in there.
Yeah, we done. We done. But
Yeah,
shoot,
yeah, yeah.
thank you all for, you know what I'm saying, tuning in. Jermaine, I appreciate your consistency, son. Like, bro, you definitely top notch. Malik, son, I'm glad you joined the, this little panel and discussion that we be doing. Me and Jermaine, we talk twice a week on a schedule. So, like, to have you join us and for us to really be talking to the world and our peers, in the form of a podcast. Thank you for that as well. But shoot, I pray that everybody has a blessed, productive, and financially prosperous evening. And if it's God's will, I'm going to holler at y'all later. All right.